All right, there we go. So, yeah. So the attack is like a phase, and in one attack phase, you can basically do as much as the stamina allows you. And now they're like trading these attack kind of sequences, but only at first do they have enough stamina to go for the whole like sequence. So you can see deflect, 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 and he did one hit. It's a little bit like unclear where on whom these pop-ups should be, but we'll figure that out. And also I added this thing, I think it wasn't here before, where they're actually moving into the attack radius to hit and then moving out. But obviously this is really wacky looking, so I think I would like to basically start this over, but I think that overall the structure of it, the logic of it, I think is pretty good. Like this allows for a pretty approachable, pretty easy to reason about system where we have our stamina, we have our attack reach, combat radius, and stuff like that. And in general, of course, it doesn't actually represent the full depth of like actual sword fighting or anything like that. But, you know, maybe you don't really want that. Like, if you really think about it in Kenshi, it's not actually that deep. In Kenshi, the stats and stuff is pretty deep, I guess, but the actual sequence of combat, it's just like, you know, a guy is going to try to hit you, you're going to defend. You know, they don't do anything that crazy. So I think already this system has potential for greater depth, I think, right? But of course, tweaking all that is difficult, and, you know, there might be a reason why it has to be simpler than this, right? But okay, so if I look at this now and I want to kind of redo the system in a more simple way, or I don't know what I'm saying, not more simple, but just kind of cleanly, let's redo this a little cleaner maybe. So yeah, and also one thing I think this is really missing is this dynamism in combat of like actual movement while you're in combat, right? This is something that's, you know, like this kind of moving back and forth is what I was trying to accomplish, but obviously like this looks very mechanical and weird. And also this chase is not actually intentional. This is happening because one is in post-attack, so he's moving back, but the other one is already in pre-attack, so he's trying to move in closer, right? So it's a little bit wacky. So what I want to do, to actually get into it, is let's start with both of them being in combat state ready. So that means that as soon as it starts, boom, they're locked in, and that's that, right? But what's actually going to happen now is they're actually going to kind of carefully look for a hit. Like, I want to kind of create a perception of that. So I'm thinking that, like, and maybe it can be with initiative, where it's like if the initiative is about the same, there's going to be like kind of sidestepping and stuff. If initiative of one guy is way greater than the other, then that first guy can like actually push that attack, right? And like not sidestep as much. So if it's like they're about equal, they're gonna dance around each other a bit, right? And I don't know, maybe there can be some like actual RNG for a vulnerability that you see. So you kind of sidestep, sidestep, sidestep until someone procs that he sees a vulnerability and he moves in for an attack. And then he does a sequence of attacks. The other guy sees that he's being attacked, so he's defending. And, you know, when the first guy is done attacking, he moves back into combat state ready, and the other guy also moves back into combat state ready. And then we kind of reassess from there. And maybe the sequence of dancing repeats, right? And of course, more complexity with that could be that if this guy, when he's defending, right, he successfully defends, he can like switch it around. And then they won't go back into combat state ready. They'll go straight to the other guy attacking. But for now, I think this is kind of interesting. So I think let's try to do a little bit of sidestepping here. But I don't know, this is easier said than done. So they're locked in. They're in combat state ready. And then there are two stages to that. One is that there has to be actual some kind of variance to start the sidestep. But the other is that the other guy has to also like reorient himself so that it makes sense. So I don't know. Maybe there is some kind of feedback loop that'll happen here that won't make it that good. But okay. So, okay. Let's see this. Give me a second. So let's do this. Let's just get a random chance. Let's say 30%. Oh, give me another second. Okay, so if random chance, then we want some kind of sidestepping on the current guy, right? And so what we can do is get a vector between me and my opponent, right? What is that? That, actually other way around, from me to my opponent. Right, we want direction from that. So let's normalize this. Right? And then we want to get a vector that is perpendicular to that. And I think I don't often work in 2D when I do all this, but I think it's like, okay, I think it's like this, isn't it? I have to do y here, and it has to be negative, and x here. Isn't that perpendicular? Okay, let's just assume it is. Right, so that's our direction. And then I want to do move toward from my position to a target. And the target that is 1, so that's 1 tile length, right? So we can just do our position plus perp with our speed as always times delta. But of course, here's the problem. We need to do this over multiple frames. So this is where it kind of gets ugly. but I think I have to save this. Into here. It's like I have this target here, now I want a target here. I mean, this probably should be a tagged union eventually. So probably let's do another one. So we have our, I guess, transient target, or temp target. Okay. So we can just do, with random chance, calculate this, and then into my brain plant the idea that we are moving from our position to our position plus 1 perpendicularly, right? And then I guess let's put it into this combat state ready case only, but eventually I guess we'll have to do it always. Okay, so where am I? Sorry, I have to go get a delivery. Yeah, set the temp target. And I guess we also need to kind of have some flag. Is moving in combat. I don't do this stuff too often, so bear with me if it's weird for now. Okay, and then if is moving in combat, who is doing that? And then move toward will return true when we have, when we are already at the goal. So we can set this here, and this is kind of an idiom already here, so maybe that could be something that's kind of done together, and maybe even automatically outside of process combat state. So we just like set the target and we know that we'll be moving there. But for now, okay. And of course we're not moving to there, but we're moving to E brain temp target. Right? And we'll always reorient ourselves towards the opponent here, right? As long as we are in any combat state. So I have no idea what that's gonna look like. Wow, that's amazing. You're even out of his radius now, you can just run away. Oh my god. Okay, well that's something, I guess. The problem is, like, this is every frame. This procs every frame, so I hate percentages like that. And also, like, that makes it frame dependent. Just, I don't really know how to deal with that. How to do that kind of stuff. But this is kind of not bad. This is kind of, you know, already more dynamic. Although they're always moving in the same direction. Right? Yeah. So we can also decide f32 sine equals get random value 0, 1, or no, that 0, 2, 0, 2, and it's going to be either 0 or 1, so it's basically a boolean, so we can do 1.0 or minus 1.0, so we can multiply the perpetrator with the sign. Ooh, this is kind of cool. It's so twitchy though. I like that though, right? But like on top of that now, we shouldn't just be moving toward that, but we should be also moving from wherever we are. So I think maybe that should happen here. Maybe it can be like a function that's like stay close to entity. And that's me, that's the target, that's the delta. And we basically want to do something similar. We take the direction toward that entity, and then we can move toward that position. Right? Move toward that position. Or wait, no, we don't want direction. We just want to move toward the target in this position. Yeah. And it's weird now because like we could make a longer move in one frame than our speed, right? So we'll have to somehow centralize that targeting, that movement. So it's like it combines multiple movements into one, something along those lines. We'll see. Yeah, it's just this function basically. Ah, okay, no. Yeah. So we don't want to just move there, right? This is what I was thinking of. We do need this, but let's actually take a direction from the target toward us. Oops. Right, and then we want to say that times my combat radius stats combat radius times that direction, right? And we add that to the position of target entity. And that's my actual target. Right? So I always want to be like, however I'm oriented, I want to just be in range of the enemy. Right? I always want to stay in that, at that like circle around the enemy, right? Wow, look at that. Like, that's already so legit. Of course, it's still very twitchy. So I have to do something about that. This, I guess all it is really is that whether to make this proc or not, we need to have like another timer that's running, and then you only do it after a certain amount of time passed. But wow, this is actually kind of looking legit. I like this. But all right, I think I'm going to leave it at this for today. I gotta go. And I'll probably work on this more later today. And yeah, add some of these complexities back in of actually attacking, defending, and do this based on time.